Station passengers. The 3:50 bound Eastbourne line to Penn Station, New York has been canceled. Schedules for alternate train.
So there comes a time when I think, for me anyway, that I had to say, I surrender. Take him, God.
Because there was so many times that he came back. It was like all good for like, a little stretch, and then it was like again, he broke the trust. Yeah, no, there's no more hate. I don't think there ever was hate, but it definitely was, there wasn't much love.
And I hated life. I didn't want to feel any of those feelings anymore. And at 28 years old, when I had my first drug and it affected my body, how can I not love that drug? It took all the pain away. It took that little boy that wasn't picked, I didn't care. The kid that didn't have a father, I didn't care. Didn't matter. I didn't care about nothing. All I knew is that I felt something that I never felt, and that was a feeling that made me numb to my emotions. That's how the journey began of my addiction. I went to the dentist. I was 28 years old. I had to have a wisdom tooth pulled. And I went to the dentist office, had the procedure, and he gave me a prescription. He gave me the prescription, and I went to this pharmacy. He said, take 2 of them, and before the Novocaine wears off. So I went to the pharmacy, 28 years old, never did a drug, never knew anything about them except that, there were winos, right? I call them winos. They were small on the street, and drugs were something that was unfathomable to me, to be honest with you. So when I got the prescription, I went home, and I did as I was told. I took 2 of the pills, and I remember I was on the phone, and all of a sudden, when that hit me, I actually rose up out of my chair, and I actually rose up, and I was just like, I took a deep breath, because it took my breath away. It was a moment that changed everything. And I said to my friend on the phone, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what this is, but I feel really good. And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I was pacing, and she said, well, you just took something. What did you say you went to the pharmacy for? And I couldn't even pronounce it. And I was like, hydrocodone? It was hydrocodone. It was Vicodin ES. ES, too. Extra strength. It wasn't even regular. It was extra strength. So when it hit me, and it made me feel that feeling, it was the moment that I knew there's something to make me not be me. And I loved it. The next thing I knew, man, I was doctor shopping, which means I went to different doctors, and I was like, oh, my back, oh, my shoulder, oh, this. And, they would give them to me, like 60 Vicodin at a time. I started taking 8 Vicodin at a time, and it was a lot, and to just feel, because there's a progression that happened, the progression of those drugs. One is no longer enough.
This is Newark Penn Station, where I used to live. And the smell of the bus exhaust is really like taking me back to the time when I used to wait for the bus outside my mother's home to come here. And it would be cold, it would be winter, it didn't matter, whatever weather. But sometimes you'd have to wait like an hour and a half for the bus. And once the smell of the exhaust came close to me by the bus, I knew it was time to go get my drugs. I couldn't wait to get here. I lived here 15 years. I have a bench inside. The sound of all these buses right here is familiar to me. It's like I'm home. And like that right there, that's what it's supposed to be. I'm used to chaos, It's only been 5 years that I've been living outside of here, as far as calling Newark Penn Station my home. It's so weird that I even made it to Newark, because when I was in jail in Colwell, New Jersey, I met this kid
and I had never shot drugs yet. You know, I was only doing pills and heroin, and this was in the beginning. And I so badly wanted to try a needle. The reason was, it wasn't about the needle. I was always scared of needles. I was a child who hated needles. You know, but the reality was, take me away more. That high was something I needed and wanted to experience because it not only took me away, but it made me feel anything other than I was feeling normally in this state. It hated me. It's why I use. So never did I know, never did I think I would be laying against the wall or I would own a bench the first time I stepped off that bus. Ever. I can't really even believe that, you know, all of the people that I met along my journey, all the people that hurt me and that I hurt, you know? But this wall, I remember I used to just face it and it was like nothingness.
So it just got worse. It got progressively worse, but I always wanted to think that it was going to get better, but it never did. It always got worse. And for 15 years, the phone rings or the door bell rings. You always think that this is it. I'm not going to see him anymore. And the more I tried, and every time he came, and he would say, "Oh, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to be okay." You know, I always believed him. You know, I would go out and get him a couple of shirts, like here, go on an interview, do whatever, and it just didn't change. It just got worse. Sundays, we come and we sit as a family, as most families do, and we break bread together. And he was always the one missing. And then when he would be here, he'd be very arrogant. You know, like he was entitled.
But yeah, me and Jimmy were close. We were close. It was devastating to me. It got hard because everything changed. It's crazy. He just became a different person. I didn't want to be bothered with him. You know, it really was crazy. Like it's like I tried to cut that off so I wasn't hurting.
There was no brother. He didn't have a brother. He told me that's not my brother, that's not who I grew up with. I think Rob, the hardest part for Rob was getting his mom and dad through, you know, this difficult time. He wanted to avoid his mom from being hurt and from his little children from seeing this.
It was hard to see him like that. I was very angry with him because I watched her go through hell. She wouldn't let him into the house. But I also understood because he stole from us, and especially me.
Worrying, you know, that's what you do. You worry about him, you know, because he's on the streets, and you think they know something's going to happen to him, you know?
No, I felt abandoned. Okay. I was deceived. The disease of addiction is mind and mood. You know, there's chemicals that go in our body that want to make us mind and mood altered, right? But the disease of addiction just makes me think that I am deceiving thoughts that aren't realistic. So here's the addict and there's the world. Give me, I want, do you, I need, will you. Mm-hmm. That's it. Right? Yeah. It's the core of addiction, the root is self-centeredness. But in the center of that self is what must be looked at. What's the foundation of that self? What pain? What hurt, what masks are being worn, and what freedom are you not having in order to allow yourself to not be minded.
That's an introspection.
Minded, mood altered. Yeah. Right. For 15 years, I lived in Newark Penn Station as a homeless man. I was in deep addiction. A very dark part of addiction is being homeless, is being hungry in America. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be as broken as you can spiritually. So me standing here today in my kitchen that I've had for a couple of years now, I'm really blessed, and I know that. Today I'm going to be going to my job as a staff member where I have clients there that I'm going to be participating in a group with.
and they're going to be talking to me, and I'm going to be trying to help them grow. And I'm super excited to go there as Cura in Newark, New Jersey, where I live, and where also the Penn Station is, that I live there. So after that, we're going to be going out to the streets where the people are so desperately trying to find their way and they're out of their brokenness. And hey, it's James. I just arrived at work. Yeah, I have 2 groups to run, and then I'm gonna be going out to do the outreach. Exactly. Yeah, it's in Newark, New Jersey. Okay, that's great. So when I'm done with that, I'll give you a call, and let me go in here and make sure all the men are good, do my groups, and I'll give you a call back, okay? All right, bye. We are here at Cura in Newark, New Jersey, 61 Lincoln Park. And we're here today with the men of Cura and also one of my co-workers, that's Miss Karen. And all these gentlemen here today are coming here for a purpose, as am I. This is a day in my life. And like every other day, what I do is I come here, I wake up out of bed, no matter what, I don't hit the snooze button. It doesn't matter how tired I am, I get up because I know that I have a reason to be here. I know that I have a reason for existing and surviving. So what I do is I come here to these amazing men and these amazing spirits who have fell along the way and begin to try and help pick them up on their journey. I know a lot of them at this point very personally. They become more like family. As the disease of addiction has evolved, so has the counselor. So has the humanness within addiction and the disease of it. We find our voices. We find a voice that matters and that makes differences. I can't help but let my spirit just flow because I love that they're rising up and I love that they're finding their voice and I love that they can speak to their families and they can look them in the eyes, and there's no better purpose for me than that. There's no better gratification.
I have to be honest with you. I believe that neither Rob or myself ever trusted him until very recently. In the beginning, you trust somebody who says, I promise I'm gonna do right, just give me $10 more, I promise it's the last time. And you have that hope, and you believe them because they're being so sincere. But then after so many times of breaking that promise, you begin to not trust that person even when you should start trusting them. So it is a process. And I know a lot of people that have said, well, you know, he made that promise before, so do you really trust him this time?
Trusting him was very hard. Over the past couple of years, I've gotten to trust him more and more because I would do anything to help him to get him clean. And there are things that I've done and given him that my sister didn't know I did because I knew she'd be mad about it. But it took a long time to trust. And there's still a little doubt in my mind because I know Jim. He has the art of talk. Watching what he's done and seeing how he's helped people is helping me understand this happened for a reason. This happened for a reason. Like they say, everything happens for a reason.
But, you know, and with him going through his addiction and losing his wife and his son, I lost them too. I lost my grandson, I'm not allowed to see. So it was a lot of different things. It was a lot of things that you keep, you know, saying like, why? You know, like my son Rob and Jill, you know, when she was pregnant, gave him bail money. He was supposed to show up at court so they can get the bail money. Poor Jill was sitting there. He never showed up. Lost the bail money. People would knock on my door. I gave him money for bail money. I had to pay him back. I remember a Thanksgiving Eve, you know, where you prepare all your stuff, and somebody call and say I gave him $700, or he took $700, and it was terrible. I wouldn't wish that on any parent, and I know we're not going to change our heart when it comes to our kids, but it's really, really bad. For 15 years, the lies that you want to believe, there comes a time when I think, for me anyway, that I had to say, I surrender. Take them, God.
You know, you support them, but once you break trust more than once, more than twice, then the trust, there's no way that you could have trust anymore. It's impossible to have it, you know, while they're in that state. Because no matter what, there's always a 99% trust. There's always a 1% for me, you know, it's just the way it is, just because of what I've been through, my experience with him.
And here we are in Newark Penn Station. This is where I used to live. I wanted to just show you the bench that I lived on for many years is right here. Not the one facing us, but the one facing the other one. For many years, that's where I lived. 15 years on and off. And these doors behind us, I used to hear opening and closing, and I knew that the cold was outside waiting for me. So that is one of the reasons that I come here to Newark Penn Station, to always remember and to also rescue those. Like I said before, it's about rescuing those that need to be rescued, because I've been rescued. So what I do is I come down here and do outreach. But that bench is extremely important to me. That bench is something that I lived on for many years, and I will never forget this place. It was home for me. You know, they say home is where the heart is. I guess even if it's a broken heart, I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure also if I was even really living. I consider myself just existing there. I'm standing here rather, by this tree that I once slept under many nights in Newark, New Jersey. We're here, as you can see, it's a thriving park today. But in my journey, during my addiction, there was nothing thriving about it. If anything, it was a slow death that was happening. This tree right here is a place that I slept under for many years. And what I would do is I would always come put my head down here and face the tree. And what I would do is I would sit there and I would pick like this. I don't know why, but it was something I did. It sort of calmed my spirit and just calmed me down a little bit. And this tree, when I look at it right here, what it reminds me of is the nights that it rained and it was snowing and it was cold and I had nowhere to go and I felt so hopeless. What I would do is just hope that the rain and the snow would block it from me. So it was like my shelter. It was truly like the roof of my house that I had, because I lived here. I had a little bit of, you know, my little bags next to me. I had the, you know, little bottles of water if I could get some so I wasn't thirsty at night. And many nights it was freezing. Many nights it was so cold that I didn't know if I would live when I slept here. I just said a prayer, again, to the God I didn't believe in. This today, though, is something that is unbelievable, that I have come out and I made it through so much darkness, you know, so much pain, so much self-hatred. And looking today at everything around me, this tree, I'm so grateful for what it's done for me. But there's a lot going on in this park and surrounding it that I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, as you look up at this tree, I wanted you to see that it was something that sheltered me, like I said, and it was something that kept me dry at night the best it could. And I'm so grateful for it. A lot of people don't, you know, think about things like that it could possibly save your life or keep you wet, keep you non-wet, so that way when you get up in the morning from sleeping, you know, you're not soaking wet. So it's a simple thing, it's a simple tree, but the reality is for it to be such a part of a broken person's human journey, for me to get up out of it was one of the most amazing things I think that has ever happened in my life. And one of the greatest things, right over here, we could take a walk if you'd like, right over here is gonna be a place that was a halfway house, and I was there for 13 months. I was there for 13 months and I looked out the window that I'll show you in a minute or two, and it was a place that I was able to reflect and I was able to take part of the community within that particular organization, and they helped me thrive, they helped me begin. And every day I walk through here, what happens is I come here and I park my car across the street and I take a look and I remember. But one of the most incredible things is this. First of all, let me show you the room that I slept in. As we get closer, there's a building right there with it looks brick up top and stone on the bottom with a green door. The third floor of that building where I spent 13 months. as I said, looking out that window. And I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I didn't know. This was a place that was nothing but hardship for me. But for some reason I made it out. And I'll never forget, that building, and it's gonna be there, I'm sure, forever as long as I'm around, because it helps save lives and it helps evolve. After I left there, I started going to school, I started doing different things. And I want to tell you all guys a story right now, something really, really miraculous. To me, it's so miraculous and amazing, it's a miracle. A miracle is something that even a scientist cannot explain. My existence, my very existence is that. What I want to tell you is this. There's a building that we're going to walk to at this point that I went for an interview one day. I was called by the director of this place, and he asked me if I wanted to come in for an interview for a job. And I said, sure, where are you located? He said, we're located at Lincoln Park in Newark, New Jersey. I was like, okay. And I had no idea about the experience that I was about to have. I had no idea about the lesson that I was about to understand and what I rose up out of, which is really amazing. I want to take you this way to the building. So there's a third floor window over there with that corner building. I walked in, I had my little suit on, one that I had actually been able to get in recovery from drug addiction. And when I had my suit on, I walked in, I felt confident. I felt as the person that I was supposed to be and manifesting into. And as I'm sitting there, these two men are in suits across the table from me. And now there's a big bay window. So what's happening is they said, have a seat, sir. I sat down. And as I sat down at that desk across from them, behind them, the view of the tree that I slept under. I couldn't believe I was inside. I couldn't believe that I really made it inside. Like, how do you make it inside out of that, Living with the tree as shelter. So as I'm sitting there, he starts asking me these questions, and I can't take my attention off of the tree that I slept under. I can't help but keep noticing. My spirit is saying, pay attention and be present of what you rose out of and what, without your permission, you rose out of, to just keep helping other people the best I can in my brokenness still, right? Because I'm still not whole. But when I was in there, I said to the gentleman, what is it that you could bring to this company? And I said to him, sir, I have to stop the interview a second. I need you to know something. As you're talking to me, I can't help but notice the tree that I once slept under outside of this window. I can't help but look at the surroundings and understand what I survived. And one of the biggest things was, I said, what I can bring to Cura is my truth. I said, whether I get this job or not, whether I'm able to be a part of this company, at this point, this interview was a gift. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I know for me to be sitting on this side of the window and looking out is something that I'll never forget, and an experience that I'm able to live with forever and remember. And guess what? I got the job. They gave me the job. He was like, young man, I think that you could bring some things to this company. And I was like, I don't know what it is, but let's try, And next thing I know, he tells me, come next week. I did all the paperwork. I was so excited. I told my family, oh my God, I got a job. I'm going to be like a counselor intern. I'm so excited. I'm going to be with the men all day of this place, and I'm going to be able to run groups and use my lessons and my voice, and I'm finding my purpose. And they were so excited for me. And I remember my first day, I drove up and I parked and I stopped. And I realized what it is that I really came out of. And I don't know how. Some days I really don't still. But I do know that I'm grateful. They say a grateful addict will never use, because it's the gratitude that makes me keep remembering where I was at one point and where I am not now. So this right here, beyond this tree, is the third floor window up top. That was the window I looked out. And I went into Cura. And I walked in, all the men were looking at me, and I looked at them, and I knew I had to be strong. I knew I had to have confidence that was perhaps being built, but I had to find it and dig down. The same confidence that I had walking to a drug-infested building and finding the drugs and seeing, where they were with confidence, without worrying. It didn't matter. That's the same way I went into Cura, to try and say, I'm here to build and not destroy. And I've been doing that, I think, ever since, to the best of my ability. And here we are. I don't know. I'm so grateful. I look around, and then as we go, right there is my building. That's Cura. That's my offices in there. I think that, dude, I can't help but feel so much. It's like my spirit is just saying, pay attention, James, pay attention. Like, find out what it is you're here for. What is your purpose? What is all of that? Keep evolving in it. In selflessness, though, right? Ego can't be a part of this. This is not ego, because the world already crushed me and told me about what ego can do. I want nothing to do with ego. For me, it's easing God out, right? It's an acronym. I don't want that. I want my higher power that I found to stay with me. And I feel like this is it. I'm here. I really made it. I don't know how I did it. I know that I didn't do it alone, and I know that I was prayed back. I know so many people prayed for me and said, please wrap your arms around my son, my mother's voice. My dad saying, please help my son. And all those prayers came down upon me, probably under that tree, when I didn't even know that they were there, and I felt so alone and so broken. Here we are in Newark Penn Station, my old address, but I made it out. So because I made it out, what I do is, now that I've been rescued, I do my best to go back and rescue. Because we carry this, we give this to them. It's from Cura in Newark, New Jersey. Again, that's where we're located, also Secaucus, New Jersey. And what we do is we tell people that, hey, listen, are you down on your luck? Do you feel like you want rehab? Do you feel like you want detox? If so, we're gonna help you. See that noise? I'm so used to it. It's very familiar. There's an oddness about being comfortable with a noise like that. Most people become concerned and stuff. For me, it's just a way of life, to live amongst the noise, The only thing is, today in recovery, the noise has quieted. There's a couple of people down here that lived a way of life that may not be conducive to humanness, right? The human part is taking out of it, and what we call it, in addiction, we call it living in an animalistic level. Sometimes here, that is what we come down to, living in an animalistic level. You hear that noise in the background? Like, I don't know, I feel like it's something that I have become very, very familiar with, even in recovery. I don't know. It's become real comfortable for me, even the buses and them coming by. My name's James. Right here, this is what we have. This is a band from Cura. It's in Newark, New Jersey. And what we do is we have people that come in with addictions. We take people with mental health issues. And what we do, also detoxes. We have shelters. If you need, we can help you with that. And what we do is we come down as an outreach and try and help you out.
Hold on.
Sure. You want to take the number? That way, in case one day you're ready, we would love that. Okay, it's 973-645-4230. And you know about the food pantries around here. You also know that they feed you once a day up at St. Michael's Church.
Yeah, but I will go there.
Okay. So keep that on you, and make sure if you're ever ready to get some help in any way, come see us, and we'll do our best to help change your life. Again, my name is James. I'm from Cura. We're an agency for drug, alcohol, addiction, but we also help people with other situations like yourself. So you were talking about you need a free lawyer service, correct? To help you with identity theft and other stuff. I have a phone number of a free lawyer service that will help you out. They're based in Newark as well as Bergen County and Hackensack. We'll go over here. There's a lot of people that are, I think, desperate even, that need the help, that want to change their lives. Right. We'll see. Let's see if we can help somebody, get somebody some information.
Okay,
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Love it. Let's go. Let's go. This is the belly. This is it. Like, you know, a lot of these people are waiting for the bus, but also there's other people down here that need assistance and help that are broken. Hi, how are you today? So I guess we'll see. How you doing? Just keep looking.
You guys need some?
I want you to have information though, that we're Cure. What we do is we are services for drug and alcohol addiction, but we also help in any other situation if you want to get into detox or something. Tell you about food pantries, we tell you about where you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you're ever interested in that, there's a phone number in there. Please give us a call, okay?
Okay.
Be blessed.
Be blessed. Thank you.
As you see, it's rough to come down to people because there's fear and there's nervousness and they're concerned about who we are because so many people have hurt them in their life. So many people have been dishonest. So many people have learned nothing but distrust. So when a stranger approaches them, the first thing they think is we're going to take from them, and the second thing is that we're there to harm them. So it's all in the approach, how you approach people. You know how I know? Because I'm them, and I'll never forget that I'm them. This is me. I am them, and I'm never going to forget that. I can't forget that. It's the only thing that makes me not hit the snooze button in the morning is to remember I am them. And where I could be with one bad decision. So what I do is I go and try and be kind to them in my approach, and that matters.
I was always skeptical. I was always waiting for that pew to hit me in the head again, you know? And thank God, God's been good so far.
What did it feel like when he recently was asked to be the keynote speaker?
Thrilling. Just, even today, I'm trying to help people, and I just see the people like that. His phone is constantly going when he's here, and he's talking to people, and yeah, what an honor that was. And to hear him get up there and speak was like, oh my God, totally different person.
Do you feel like those prayers of those 15 years were answered?
Finally, somebody was home. Yeah, somebody was home. And then we, you know, I think probably this past year is probably like the best because I think I see him and Rob, which means so much to me, get along now. Like they laugh with each other. I think Rob has told him how proud he is of him.
He really, really turned out to be a really great person. He has got such confidence in himself now, and you know, and all he accomplished, he did nothing but elevate himself. I mean, he went from 0 to 100, you know, I mean, very proud of him. He changed everything in his life, only for the better.
Being together now, how does that?
Oh, it's awesome, you know. He can call me 24/7, I'll be there for him, you know. And I know, him and my wife are like brother and sister. He's got everything good going for him, you know. He's making his own footprints in the world now.
I would say he's good. I would say he's right. He's on the right track, obviously. I mean, I hear what he does. It's amazing. I could never do what he does.
I mean, how does that make you feel to know that he's come full circle and now he's reaching out to so many other people?
Yeah, no, that's great. No, it's good. It's good. It's good times. Yeah, definitely.
If you have one thing to say to Jimmy, what would you tell him?
I'm proud of him. Yeah, I'm happy that he's back and doing his thing. I'm definitely proud of him. It's good. It's good to see him.
There's one word that really could summarize this, and I think it's faith and hope that really brings the process together. You never, I shouldn't say you never, but you should never try to lose faith or hope in that someone's going to be able to turn their life around and make better for themselves. He's actually a sweeter person than he was when I met him years back. He is still as much fun to be around. I mean, he glows now. He walks around with his shoulders back, his head held high. Who cares if, he's carrying around a few extra pounds or not. He's just happy to be alive, and he enjoys every day as a gift.
The family unity is great now. It's really, it's good to see him to be a part of it because he has been away for so long. And so his brother talks to him now. And it was hard for his brother because his brother's watching his mom, right? Like we all were. And we were scared for her health, you know, especially when she went through the cancer. But the family unity, we're all behind him. And he needs help. We're making the sandwiches with him, and we're getting him whatever he wants to do. If he's going to speak somewhere, and he said, if you want to come, we'll come. You know, he's doing a Zoom, get on the Zoom. Jimmy's back here now because we came together as a group, as a family unity, and because he wants to be here, and we want him here. So yeah, so without all of us doing this together, I don't know if he'd be alive today.
I need to just quickly say to each one of you something. Joe, thank you for raising my nephews with such love. Thank you for loving my brother and never ever abandoning him through the worst days that I put him through. Appreciate you and I love you.
Absolutely. Love you too.
Robbie, I'm sorry for hurting your mother. And I'm sorry that I had her go through everything she went through. So I'll do my best forever to treat your mother with kindness and love. Ma, thank you for praying me back to life. Thank you for making me know that I was never abandoned. I appreciate you. Dad, I just want to say, every time I asked you for a ride to the hospital when I was lost and out in the cold, you would come in your blue truck and you'd be all wrapped up in your clothes that kept you warm and pick me up, and you know you never failed me in that sense, I have to say. So thank you for keeping me alive many nights when I may have killed myself.
Yeah, it really heated me up when I used to have to leave you off someplace like that.
I'm sure.
I don't like it.
And Margaret. Thank you for being so many things to our family. Thank you for always giving me $10 when I asked for $5. Thank you for always making sure that my mother was okay when she was at our most broken point. So I appreciate you and thank you.
I love you.
And I love you. And my biggest thing that I'm just going to close with this is that just for today, I'm going to make it back to my bed clean, and I will do my best not to ever harm anyone else. That's all I could give you, and I love you all, and thank you.
We love you too.
Thanks.
We're so love.
James is a great counselor. Since I've been here, I don't know him that much, but he put a change in my life. Like I'm 21, I'm young, but seeing him, man, that makes me go farther. The weight, the stuff he wear, everything he do for the 61 for us, is big, man. It's big.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you. From my heart. Thank you. I appreciate you. That means the world to me. That's why I'm here, though, for you.
I know.
I love you too, Michael. Thank you, God. Love you. And guess what? I got the job. They gave me the job. Guess what? I got the job. They gave me the job.